I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate.
What up, everyone? This is the Shorty Logic podcast. I am your host, Shorty Logic, and here are my hosts, co-hosts.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It's Miss Suge in the building.
What's up? Y'all know me, May. Like, follow, share, click my tingle links.
So, y'all, we got a good one. We know we come up with a banger every week. The topic tonight is healthy ways to start a self-journey. That's a good little topic right there. So we can go ahead and hit the first video.
Lazy people are lazy because they're addicted to comfort, whereas discipline is the addiction and the obsession with discomfort. Discipline is all to do with your brain, and your brain is addicted to comfort because it's constantly in survival mode. Your brain is constantly running on the process of scanning things for danger in your environment. So if anything gives you anxiety, if anything seems difficult or is worrying you, it's going to give you all these difficult emotions, which is going to prevent you from going out to do that task. As a result, you no longer step out of your comfort zone to do things that are unfamiliar or uneasy. So really, it's as easy as ignoring what your brain is saying to you because you understand that it can't help but feel terrified at the thought that this is an unfamiliar venture that we have never done before. You push past that feeling and you try it anyway. And even though it's going to be really hard and you're not going to enjoy it and it's not going to be easy, once you've done it, your brain now has that little bit more of tolerance. That means the next time you have to do something that's outside of your comfort zone, your brain is a little bit more on your side. You go out and you do it anyway.
Wow. See, that was yours, Evelyn. What you go ahead and start with it.
I think that was a good video because our brains at some point do get kind of lazy. We are very prone to not handling the unfamiliar easy. So basically she's saying to retrain your thought process, which is a good story if you're on a self journey, because in the first place, you said you wanted to start a self journey. So since you want to start that, you have to retrain yourself to how you think, how you move, how you operate. It's not going to happen overnight, of course, but if you get yourself in a certain process of moving forward, you don't know what you're capable of. So I agree with her. We can get very lazy when we come down to thinking of things to do for ourselves.
I do believe we can get very lazy. I do think we can get very lazy, get complacent. We get stuck in our ways, and then we just don't want to do anything anymore. What you got, Charmaine?
Yeah, I think it was just me because I was getting choppy bits and versions of it, and so I don't want to speak to everything she said because I was just getting parts. But like y'all said, it sounded like she said that you was, you have to talk yourself into overcoming your fears of doing something,
right?
That's all a part of a self journey is learning what you're afraid of and what you're not. Like I said, we're doing mental health awareness month, and one thing that I heard today, a guy said that he said, I'm looking for progress and not perfection. So when you start this journey, you got to take your wins, you got to be kind to yourself, and you got to push yourself in a sense. Like, just because your journey don't look like nobody else's, you got to learn what that journey is, because it takes a point of knowing where you got to go. That's like one of the first steps in the journey. So I apologize because I don't know, my signal is a little off and I'm getting glitchy, but Yeah, I mean, yeah, starting retraining your brain. That's the first something I live by is the Jose Silva method. And it totally retrains your brain into being healthy and thinking for you, retraining your cells in your body to not ache like they should, take you back to where you want to be. So everybody's self journey is different. So
Yes.
it's just like you gotta put that first step in front of you and then take from there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So that was good conversation on that. We can go ahead and go on to the next one.
The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. And you hear it all the time when people say, I've always been this way. Okay, well, if that's working for you, keep doing that. I knew it wasn't working for me any longer. I had hit my version of rock bottom. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, that is.
That's powerful. It still brings me back to like we have. It seems like when we get to a certain age, or we always used to doing something, we don't want to change it. You know what I'm saying? But it starts with self. You know,
That's why the key word is self.
yeah, it starts
Because
with self.
whatever it's going to take for you to take that first step towards where you're trying to get to,
Right.
it's all about you. I think a lot of people really skip that part in life because we are so used to catering or operating or functioning around other people that we don't take the time for ourselves or get accustomed to not taking time for ourselves, processing who we are, what we want, what's the next step in our life for us, all that. And it goes back to, like Charmaine said, mental health. It's extremely important, but it starts with self. And yes, you're going to have a time where you might exit out a few people in your life. It's a necessity.
You got to.
Yeah, you have to in order to start moving along your journey. Because people know what they want. They know in their mind what they want. But taking the steps is harder to do from what they're thinking.
Afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid. They're afraid to, if they grew up with people or they got people around them and they started doing self, evaluation and moving to move a different way, they're afraid to, lose some of the people that are in there. But the people that's in their life, most likely it's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there for a season, not for a lifetime.
And like she said, the old them, we get accustomed to how we always are or was, and we get so stuck in that, it's like it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
that is true. What you got?
Yeah, the greatest, thing about not having a self journey and having somebody else's journey is the other people that you might have to let go. And being an influencer is a whole job, and people thrive in their life off of influencing you or, giving you a role in their lives when you have to realize yourself. Like, I can be that friend and that partner or whatever, but remember, this was my goal. So you have to sometimes get back to your goal, and you have to, not be afraid to fail at it, go at it by yourself. I heard that rock bottom built more champions than being on the top. Because I'm telling you, there's been a whole lot of opportunities. Like, I am blessed. I have been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and to me it was nothing. Not that I get to a point where I expect it, but then I'm like, man, I'm getting all these opportunities, which is amazing, but let me get in here and get my hustle on and figure out what I'm good at. And sometimes you just gotta learn because I would rather get it from the mud. One thing I heard is that you don't do it alone. You gotta watch your circle. Everybody. But you have to kind of understand what's the difference between having help and putting your identity in somebody else.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree with that.
And I apologize, you guys. I can't see the videos.
Really?
I can see them, but they're just like a frozen screen, and then every now and then I get a few words.
I don't know.
It might be my connection or something. I think it's my phone. I'm about to get a new phone.
Yeah, but it's just like some people when they get opportunities, or if it's opportunities coming to them, you still have to take the steps. There's somebody giving you opportunity, you still have to take the steps to get to it. And sometimes gonna be obstacles gonna be in front of it. And once they hit that, a lot of people just quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to determine the difference between an opportunity and a handout. Like some people say girls get stuff handed to them, you know. I'm like, you know, I don't need everything handed to me. Let me see what I can do, you know. That's my self journey. I like the struggle of it because it's life. It's like, what else? You know, of course you can be living any kind of life you want, but I'm from the West in Louisville and I'm going to live this life, you know, and see what I can produce from it.
I also think people, when they do take a self journey, the healthier way I feel like is to not put so much pressure on yourself, because people think you're supposed to just change overnight when you start a self journey. No, it don't work like that. It's the process. So don't be so hard on yourself, but at the same time, make sure you're committed to the process, because people get to a point where if they fail at it the first day or in the first moment, that they get discouraged immediately. And they're like, oh, well, that didn't work, so let me go back to what I'm used to. But don't put the pressures of it on you to the point where you think you have to change completely in one day. No, it doesn't work overnight like that. You will have a couple of setbacks, and it's okay to have setbacks as long as you keep moving forward towards where you want to go. Whatever it is.
Absolutely. It was self-affirming. Like I said, my client today in his self-affirming moment said he's looking for progress and not perfection. So it's not going to be perfect. I said, you know what? I'm going to end up quoting you because that's the way you self-affirm. You got to know what you're doing and not what it looks like to other people.
Right.
And when you also has OC too, is like when you're doing self-improvement, self journey, stuff like that, you're going to have resistance. That's the big thing. You're going to have resistance. And actually, the only resistance is you.
Yeah, it's gonna be you. It's gonna get hard. You're gonna be tired. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna wonder why you do it. You know how they say the payoff ain't always instant. You gotta have those long sleepless nights and go broke for it to see that. And you know, going broke for it, hitting bottom, doing everything, stretching yourself out. It feels like a sacrifice, but that's what a sacrifice is. To sacrifice something maybe to get something else. But you know, self-healing journeys don't always hurt, but sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. You know what I mean?
And you're going to realize that you got to think about it. There's plenty of things that you have failed at and you have restarted over in your life. So why not take that? Because you know what? We will take a chance on everything and everybody else except ourselves.
That is true.
Except ourselves. And that blows me because it's like, wow, especially when you get up to a certain age, you're just like, all these chances I took on everything and everybody else, I stuck my neck out on the line for so many different things. Why didn't I put that same effort into me?
Put that energy into that time, that money, that investment. Like I try to tell my daughter while she's young, make these sacrifices and finish school. You know, get your foundation in order because this is your journey. You don't want to still be having the same goals at one stage in your life that you had a long time ago. You know, you have to just go ahead and suck it up, buttercup, and take those moves, you know.
Because life is not the internet. You don't get it instantly. You really don't.
No.
Yeah. But it's okay to take your time and get there because a lot of people think about in this moment. There's nothing wrong with thinking about in this moment. But what I'm saying is if you want to do better, be better in the future, then at least start your process as soon as you can because life is too short at the end of the day. Life is too short. Yes. Life is too short to be stressed out, overworked, underpaid, and what you got to show for it.
Yep, and the blessing is that right now, like here on this platform, we got somebody to tell us about that. So you know, when we was younger, we was just out there living life, having fun, like understanding the parents was the parents and we was the kids, you know. But if you can have a mentor per se or a parent or someone to mold you in this self journey, be that person. Be that person for somebody who you might see might need that help. Be that person for your kids in your kids' life. That's why it's important for both parents to be in the household, just to get that information out. You know, because like I said, people will waste their time not doing a journey. You know, living the life. You know, don't have any goals set. Like even if they're in the future.
You still gotta have fun. Still have fun
Yeah.
while you
Yeah,
know.
as I
Yeah,
said,
you
if
still
it's in
have
the
fun.
future, you still gotta have an idea of what you want to do.
Right.
Life ain't all just play the whole time because if life is competition, if this is a rat race, there's some people working real hard that's gonna outwork you every time if
Yeah.
you don't take their time. And so you wanna put your family in that position to understand, you might want to do this, but understand somebody's outworking you if you're
Right.
not doing that right there. So if you want to be the best, be the best.
And I also feel like even if both parents ain't in the household, it would be just nice if both parents could be on the same page as far as
Yeah.
Mhm.
how to motivate their kids and things like that. That would be just as important because I know everybody don't get that opportunity. You know, you have some parents that have passed away early and things like that. So even if they're not in the same household, at least be on the same page as far as how to mold your children because a lot of things like morals and values and integrity is missing nowadays in this time
Oh yes. Oh
with this
yeah. It's
generation big
definitely.
time. So yeah.
It's
Yeah, I have to
definitely.
say that I was my daughter's father went to prison for 10 years of my daughter's life, but throughout that time, he knew how important a father figure is to a little girl. So there was times where I had to accept collect calls for them to be in communication. He's making sure
Hmm.
he's sending the letters, sending the gifts. I'm not in your life because these people said I can't be in your life. And what are you doing? How are you doing in school? What is your goal? And me
Yeah.
and my daughter, we had some talks and stuff. And it was just
Hmm.
good to have, even though he wasn't with me, that's his relationship with his child. But when she
Right.
needed to go through some stuff with her head, she can go to him. There's times they both
Yep.
came to me and said, well, we feel like this about that. And
Yep.
I'm like, okay, well, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need that motivation. You need that support sometimes. Like a
Yeah.
self journey is a self
Yes.
journey and you feel rock bottom, but you want support, and so you
Yeah.
gotta see who your real support is because feeling like
Yes.
you don't have support, that kind of destroys your journey because then you in your weeping phase and your why is this happening to me phase. So you
Yeah.
have to realize it is support out there. You just gotta see who the actual support
Support
and
is.
identifying
But
that. Sometimes it's
but
hard.
sometimes most people even before they even want to do self check, self journey, you know what I'm saying, just to check yourself, evaluate yourself. Sometimes it takes for you to hit rock bottom. Sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
takes
Yeah, but
that.
some people it does. Some people
An
it
eye
does.
opening situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to sometimes. Sometimes it's just
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
And rock bottom ain't bad sometimes. But you gotta have your moral when you get to the bottom. You can't get down there.
Indeed.
And
Yeah.
some people get down there and scrape and scrape and do the worst, and then they're delivered from that. But you you
Yeah.
know you just want to try to keep your integrity when you're on the self journey because sometimes you might be at the bottom, and it might take you a while to even realize you at the bottom to where you like,
Yeah.
how did I end up here? You know,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
did
That's
I
the
end up
click.
here?
That's the
And
click right there. It clicks in right there at
yeah,
that moment. Once they get down there, then it'll click and be like, aha. And
Hmm.
you're right. And
yeah.
sometimes it does take people going all the way down to that point, that little last little drop they got in them, and then next thing you
And
know, they're
then
coming all the way back up.
right, you can get that self-realization because when you think, how did
Hmm.
I get here? You can think about how you got here. Guess what? So and so let me fall here. I let myself down here. This happened down here. You will know who was your party with you going down. So when you come out
Hmm.
support, you can say, okay, this is what so and so said. I gotta go hear the I told you
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And not be afraid to hear that, or just who to avoid in general.
Mhm.
Unless they're willing to go on their own self healing journey. But the
Right.
thing is, a lot of times it's in your face, like you see it, you know it. Like me, I smoke. I know I don't need to smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In my journey, you know it. So if you second guess it, you kind of ought to know exactly how to fix it because it doesn't make you feel good. Anybody that's ever done something wrong, like I know that was wrong. I know this
Right.
is wrong. I shouldn't be eating
Right.
this. I mean, it's right there. So it's kind of like,
Mhm.
I like to do eclectic things. I like to journal. I write that stuff down, throw it away, get it out of my life. But you have to realize a lot of times if you're struggling with a self journey, everything that you're struggling with, that's your journey. That's everything you need to overcome.
That's your journey.
It's right there in front of you.
Yeah.
And
learn to be your own biggest supporter as well. Learn to be your own biggest supporter, because sometimes people can get codependent on other people looking for their support from somebody else. But this is the whole point. Like I said, the key word is self. Self. So you have to also, you can expect this person to be a supporter of you if you're not even supporting yourself. I don't even understand how to support yourself. Start supporting yourself. It's important to you, you know, as just human, changing the cycle of how human nature works for you.
Right.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, they're not going to support you until they see you successful anyway. You're only going to get genuine support from your best friend, your spouse, your children. You know, it's like, you know, that's what I want to, going back to saying when I said we don't do it by ourselves, even though it feels like it, and we got that term self-made because it feels like it, you're really not going to have the support in the way it looks to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you might specifically need this and they do that, you know, and it may be not because they don't support you. It's like you said, they don't see it yet. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will support you if they see it, or, you know, some people will support you unconditionally. So you just
some people support you in your bad habits.
Some
people will support you in your bad habits, and that's also a lesson for you as well in your self journey. Figuring it out. Yeah,
absolutely.
You need genuine people that's gonna, if you know that you got bad habits and they know you got bad habits, they're gonna let you know right there, hey, you need to stop that, or you change this, or you need to look at that. And then, like I said, it's always good to have the outside support, but your number of support, like you said, is yourself.
Yeah.
You know, but guess what? It's also a part of self-esteem.
Yeah.
It's part of self-esteem, absolutely. Your esteem of yourself. But you have to, you know, look at that too when you're not getting that support. And look at the character of the people that's not around that you thought should have been there, or even respect them for getting out the way. You know, it's like all about when self journey is so specific to self. There's probably a different angle you can look at every situation. You can look at every situation good and every situation bad, and you gotta pull both out of both of them and realize what's the lesson in, you know?
That is true. So we're going to go ahead and play this next video, see what we got over here.
When a man truly wants to be happy, when a man truly wants to find his life's partner, he's got to find the one most important life's partner that he's been afraid to discover, and that's himself. And so he's got to have a period of celibacy. He's got to have a period where he doesn't need a woman, for example. He's got to have a period where he's able to find his strength staying away from sex, staying away from alcohol, staying away from all of the things that he's been building up in his life because he's been afraid of his emotions. And rightfully so, because men as little boys are taught at a very young age, don't cry, because if you're a cry, you're a little bitch, or whatever it is that your father told you. And all of those things are emotional wounds that men are not taught how to deal with. And when they finally do, you're going to discover that there's a lot of wonderful, beautiful men out there who will provide financially, provide emotionally, provide spiritually, who want to find love. They just don't know that the love they've been seeking for has been inside the entire time.
I felt like that was such a great video for men, because men get discounted so much for having to have this hard exterior. And so a lot of people don't realize, and I'll be honest, a lot of women don't realize that men require some of the same things, but you know, just like women, we have to start within ourselves. So I just thought that was a great video.
Like we were taught not to show emotion, taught to be hard, show our masculinity, you know. And then society's, you know, look down on men that does that. And then also, unfortunately, women look at that too and think that's weakness. But we need to stop that. We need to learn that as men, society and women, everybody, even men, other men need to know that men have feelings, men hurt, men cry. You know what I'm saying? We get tired of being hard, tough all the time, but society wants us to be that way. You know?
Y'all gotta have that safe space too. And then I always said if people could just retrain their mindset to stop thinking man, woman, and it could just be one individual to another individual.
Right.
It makes a big difference to retrain your mindset coming out of that. I just think that would be huge because then you see that person as a person, not as a man, not as a woman, just as two individuals. So I just think that was a real good.
I'm gonna play this video again for you, Charmaine. This is actually a pretty good video.
When a man truly wants to be happy, when a man truly wants to find his life's partner, he's got to find the one most important life's partner that he's been afraid to discover, and that's himself. And so he's got to have a period of celibacy. He's got to have a period where he doesn't need a woman, for example. He's got to have a period where he's able to find his strength staying away from sex, staying away from alcohol, staying away from all of the things that he's been building up in his life because he's been afraid of his emotions. And rightfully so, because men as little boys are taught at a very young age, don't cry, because if you're a cry, you're a little bitch or whatever it is that your father told you. And all of those things are emotional wounds that men are not taught how to deal with. And when they finally do, you're going to discover that there's a lot of wonderful, beautiful men out there who will provide financially, provide emotionally, provide spiritually, who want to find love. They just don't know that the love they've been seeking for has been inside the entire time.
What you got on that, Charmaine?
Yeah, the video, you not come back. I don't know what mood y'all in, but I did hear bits and pieces. And so from what I'm hearing, I was talking with a guy earlier today who said that, women choose sex because men try. And I'm wondering, like, why do men got to try all the time? Why don't they just calm down and have the same discretion that women have? So where you don't have to, it's not a struggle. People's choosing the best suited mate for them. So like when dude in the video was talking about sometimes a person gotta be by themselves. Yeah, sometimes like we take that time, men take that time, people need to take that time to fast from some things, fast from, some sex and all that stuff, and just having to be on the scene. To me, from the little bit I got from the video, I'm like, yes, let's take a fast. But I'm probably somewhere else because I can't hear what the video said.
Well, it's like what I was saying earlier before you went out. It was just most men now are taught not to show emotion. Men are taught to be masculine. Just go to work for 40 years and don't say anything. Men is taught to hold everything in. But like I started to say, men hurt too. Men have feelings too. Men cry. Mm-hmm. Men get tired of being tough as well. But society, women, it's just it's hard. And then we get looked down on. We get looked down on when we are showing our vulnerability, showing our feelings. So,
but I don't think so, Javante, because the ones that do, those are those standout guys that we put on a pedestal. We look at how Russell Wilson treats his wife, how Andre 3K can go into his thing and say, I'm not saying a word. We look at all these great men who are willing to do the hard thing and be sensitive to themselves, to where I'm in a culture, in a circle to where all of the people I consider my friends, they consider themselves enlightened. I ain't gonna say woke because that's so cliche, but they carry themselves to a different stature to where in 2024, it should be easier for men to step outside of that. I was told this by the head boss to I need to be my own self. To me, with the way the world is and the way the culture shift and the culture change and the movements, men have it the easiest right now. But it's like, what do they do when they get their voice? A lot of times you can't get the voice and say, well, let me blame the culture on this. Let me blame how women look at men. When men can come out of that and say, look, I felt like is this hurt me. I allowed this to happen, and now I don't allow it no more. All of that is self accountability. Like if I was in the streets, I was in the streets. I did this. I was doing that in the streets. I did that, but now I'm not going to allow it no more. I can change my journey on my own. And I think in 2024 is one of the greatest times that anybody can pick up a self journey and take it any way they want to, just because the culture is so trendy nowadays.
I have to just.
I don't think the culture is as trendy as it may appear to be, like on social media and TV. Because me personally, I feel like, and this goes for both genders, but I really feel like men was not allotted that opportunity as much as women are. And the reason I say that is because we're not looking at the Russells. We're not looking at we talk about just average men. Average men was not allowed that opportunity.
Russell Wilson is not.
He's average. He's not an average guy.
No, I'm saying, but they became great. Average people become great. And people ain't born, unless your name is Hilton or Rockefeller, you're not born great. You become great over time.
You're right. You do become great over time.
Everybody got the same 24 hours in a day. It's the environment. And you can get into a clique of culture. That's like back when we was in high school. Those emo kids, they didn't care how cool hip hop was. They still decided to have this personality. You can do that in any decade, any generation. But it was shocking to me. I learned like recently that a lot of this stuff people don't know. And I'm like, people wasn't aware that, everybody's smart. Everybody has the capability to learn. This disability may not hold you back. People felt like what they were told and what they were taught was the only way it was. They don't know somebody down the street living totally different. And I'm like, I was fortunate enough to live in Kentucky, be raised summers in the South, winters in the North. Up Ohio, one half of the year, down Alabama from Louisville. So where I'm like, okay, these people all got different lifestyles. And
I'm
with they're regular people. Now, all them people with 20 million followers on TikTok, all of them are all regular people who decided to take their own self journey.
And some of it wasn't by choice, though, Charmaine. Some of it was just unexpectedly. I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. I lived in my whole life in the west end of Louisville. And let me say this, it was not the best. It was not the best. I had to get to a point where randomly I started traveling and seeing other places and things, and I learned it was more opportunities out there for me. So sometimes your environment can hinder you to a certain degree, but it's not just for a woman, it's for a man as well. And what I'm saying is that it's not just always women that have complications with beginning a life journey. Men have it too. So I don't want to discount them. It's always a back and forth, but I don't want to discount them average men, just like average women, saying they can choose this, they can choose it. Everything in life is a choice. But sometimes people don't know how to take that step to start.
That's all I'm saying.
It's the process. It's a process, but I don't want to discount one from the other.
Well, the average person don't even get out their own town. And I was fortunate enough to go into service and go in the Army for 10 years. I lived in 13 states in the United States. I lived in 7 countries. So I had the experience to learn that this world is actually big, real big, bigger than what you think it is. And it doesn't matter. The only, I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't even talking about America. I'm talking about out America. The only place that I've seen, from my experience, the only place that really cares and takes it in for a man's feelings is London.
Can see that. I always said that area is awesome. I said I've never been to Germany, but I know a lot of people who've been to Germany, and I say everybody that came to Germany creates good people. Something about it.
And America has a very unhealthy culture. America,
and that is worldwide, and that is known, and that's an absolute fact. That's why I get frustrated. That's where my frustration comes back from, because like I said, a lot of people are sheltered, and then as soon as they break the shell open, they can grow from it. But it's like, okay, I'm trying to say, you know what, you're a little sheltered, you know, and just because, I mean, you might have a conviction in your heart that so many people feel this way about you, but I'm trying to say, guess what? A whole lot of people don't feel that way about you. Leave those people and go to these people. And I'm like, and they're like, it's not that simple. And then, you know, but we think that the simplest things is just to do it. You know, it's hard to tell somebody else that, you know,
but when it comes down to men and women, everybody as a whole was taught to be more gentle with women than be gentle with boys.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's such a complication when it comes down to men saying we want the same things that women want. It's just that we can't express it as easily to y'all sometimes because we was not taught that way. We was not programmed that way. We was not trained that way. And it's crazy because me being a mom of a son, I realized I really try to be so hard with him all the time because I was raised toward being around a bunch of men. I feel like that's how he should, and that's how he was supposed to be treated and trained. But it came to a point where I had to realize that my son, he had the same desires as I did as a mom. He had the same desire. He needs that vulnerable. He needed to be able to have a voice. He needed to be able to have that safe space to be vulnerable as well. And the only way he was going to learn how to do these things was if mom calmed the hell down and opened that door to say, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to cry.
Right.
It's okay if you feel like this is bothering you. It's okay to say that. I had to let him know he had a voice. Now I can't get him to stop using his voice. But he has a voice.
But I have to disagree with Charmaine because I don't think men have it easier to showing the feelings. I don't think when you said men, in today in 2024, men have from the beginning of time till even 2024, it's still the same. Men cannot show their feelings. Or they get ridiculed, they get talked about, they get down talked, and then women talk down to, and then women
are getting harder.
Women are getting harder.
Look, I have to give y'all that. I have to give y'all the 50% shelter version versus the 50%. That's your truth that you're living in. But I'm also living in a separate truth where I was raised around a lot of men too. And what we was taught is that this man needs this plate, this man needs this respect. Look, these men are in here talking. And then just to add a little flavor to it, I was raised around a bunch of pastors. They were always vocal and emotional. So I'm hearing your story from your side, but I also am from a place where men were able to say whatever they want and get their point across, to where I have to say, living next door down the street, it can be this way right here and this way right there. And so we have to never judge someone where they're at in their journey. And if you can help somebody, help them. If you got to let them learn their own way, you have to do that. So I'm not taking nothing away from people who feel like, I was raised hard, because I was like that with my daughter. But she seen me, she understood that when I was home by myself, I'm up going to work, doing everything that I had to do because I was doing it by myself, basically. That instilled something in her. And so she had a different experience from me. But we're from a vocal family. Like everybody say, you always got to answer for everything. Yeah, because the environment. But I guarantee you,
80% of people out here is judging.
Yeah,
you got at least 20% that's not, but the 80% is the majority, and that's what makes it so complicated.
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, it's a big world, like he said, it's a big world. So I couldn't imagine, the percentage of the way the people fall. But you gotta find that's part of the self journey. You gotta find something that's serving you.
But I would say I don't say it's 50-50, Charmaine. I won't say I say. Yeah, there's more.
When I say they was feeling themselves, there was slaves that jumped off the boat because they feel this strongly from the beginning of time. And the thing is, I understand grooming. I understand this is a custom in this community. I understand that, and that's so American, that I can't deny that. That's American, but it's also a culture that people that work so hard to change it gets frustrated when people say, oh, no, ain't nothing gonna happen. It's just that's my point. When I'm like, you can do this. No, we can't do that. It ain't gonna never be like that. Like, I'm trying to say, yes, and they won't accept the yes, but that's a self journey that people have to take on their own, and I can't force that timing with them.
But unfortunately, the world we live in, this is sad. But I am happy that there's more men speaking up, and standing up, and being for their children now. But you have to understand, over 70% of men are raised by women, and their mother are teaching them to be hard. Not
I have to see these facts, though. I would literally have to see statistics, because I think, I know mothers is around, fathers is around. People jump on these statistics so bad, like all of these people. No, what you have to do is take your perception of what you've seen versus what's in your nuclear circle. What have you actually seen? Have you actually seen your aunties and uncles? From what statistically, when you go out and meet a random, you can have this situation. But about what you see in your real life, you see your next door neighbor and their parents and their kids, and you see that family, you see this family, you see that family. I see more families than I do of course I see thoughts, but I don't be in a club. But those at the age,
let's be honest,
but I see enough families on a day-to-day basis to understand that happens.
You cannot take the fact away that the majority of family household, the father's not there. The mothers are taking care of the sons.
I would have to see those statistics.
That is a fact. That you can't change that. That is a fact.
I would have to see it. I'm not going to just take a word. See, I'm one of those. Like, I would have to see that. And then I would have to see, what the situation is. What is it? Those widowers. What other people in the penitentiary? Whatever. Where the man left, because it ain't like the women's always leaving. You can't blame single mothers like they're
incarcerated was raised by single mothers.
Yeah, but you can't blame single mothers as an issue. You gotta say how many
they are raised by single mothers. Most mothers are raising their sons and not to be hard.
So a man can't have a problem that he created. If the man left this woman and now you can't grow up as a man and say, well, let me blame the only person who was there for me.
No, that is crazy. Charmaine. That is not it, Charmaine. What was going on?
That is it. You see that single mothers are raising these men to be the wrong way.
Let me teach you something right quick. I was raised by my grandmother. My grandmother taught me to be hard, not show my feelings. You know when I started showing my feelings? When I got in the army. When I got
around other men who knew how to do it, who said it's okay. That's right.
But what I'm saying is, it still doesn't change the fact most of our society, unfortunately, it is messed up. And I need more men to step up. Listen to me, man. I need you to step up more. But what I'm saying is, that my whole thing is most the families, it's not a 2-parent household. We don't live in that type of world today. That's just what it is.
But what I'm saying is,
most household is ran by a single mother, and men are raised by their mothers. You know what I'm saying? There are some mothers out there that raise their son to show emotion, but the majority of the time, over 70% of households is raised by a mother, and they teach their sons not to show their feelings.
So do you think that mothers show their daughters just to cry and be damsels in distress, or do you think they're raising them to be just as strong like they're raising the men?
No, I'm gonna tell you what mothers are doing.
I think they raise them to be strong, but at the same time,
let me listen to a lady tell me. Go ahead, Ebony.
I don't think that I think they teach them to be strong, but I also feel like they teach them to be vulnerable and have a better weakness than men. And the reason I say that is because, like, I have nieces and stuff. We are taught, be more gentle with them, be more this is the crazy part, because I'm the only auntie that is more stern than any of the other aunties. And it's because the way I was raised. And I had aunties in my life. I still got aunties in my life. But for me, even my aunties was hard, because they was like, look, stay in the child's place. Things like that. I'm old school. I'm old school because I was raised with old school. And I also, my mom's side of the family, I was raised with seeing relationships and marriages. But even in those marriages, I still seen the men in those marriages say, boy, you better get up and dust that off.
Right.
You better not cry. You better not do this. And like I said, I picked that trait up and I passed it on to my son. But I had to learn.
Absolutely. Hold on, wait a minute, let me stop. That's the example I'm making. Women, we get that. I was an athlete, so I didn't fail. I didn't get up, shake it up, walk it off, whatever, happened to you, put on your pretty dress and put on your pretty face. We get these same emotional things that we have to have that men don't respect, like they deserve more.
I still got catered to more. I still got catered to more than a boy. I still got catered to more than my boy cousins. I still got catered to more by my grandfather than my grandfather would cater to the boy.
Opposite in my house, and it was opposite in my house. And my growing up, it was.
But that's the thing. At the end of the day, Charmaine, we're not just going off your household. We're going off.
Let me tell y'all what I seen today. Let me tell y'all what I seen today.
I'm going to say that there's a great percentage. Hold on, wait a minute. As a whole, I'm going to say there's a great percentage that understands what I'm saying. Just like you going to say, well, I'm going to say my 80%. I have the right to say I have an 80% behind me as well.
Yeah, that's the right say you did.
No, let me say this. I'm gonna tell you, this is what. Hey, hold.
Not everybody. You have to give certain credit to. Okay, people feel differently. It's called.
Here's what we get.
Absolutely.
Women, ladies, women are raising boys to be bitches. Point plain and simple. And I'm gonna tell you what I seen today. I was at Main Event. I was driving a motor coach. I was because it's the truth. It is what it is. Act like a female. Act like a female. So what I seen today is nothing wrong with a woman driving a man. But what I seen today, I seen this light-skinned sister girl come out with a dude, with a brother. She's driving, he's riding. I seen another sister and brother pull up at Main Event. They in their early 20s, I want to give them, mid-20s. She's driving, and he's riding. And I'm not knocking that, but what I'm trying to say with that is, I remember when I was a kid growing up as a teenager, as a boy, the only thing I wanted when I was 16 years old was my driver's license. I've never had, unless she was my wife, I don't really have no woman driving me around. And I'm not saying it's a man's place to do this and a woman's place to do that. Like, if I'm really serious about you, I'm probably going to let you drive me. And the reason why I'm probably going to let you drive me is because I drive every day, all day.
How do you know those two people was a couple, though, Lamar? How you know they
was a couple? It doesn't matter what they was. I'm just telling you what I seen. I'm not determining what they. But it was the times are changing. Women, if you look at it, y'all women are getting bigger than men. Look at today's women, modern day women today versus a man, and a lot of these so-called women are raising these boys. Here's what women do from infancy when he's in a womb. My baby, he's handsome, he's pretty, he's gonna have all the women. He goes from an infant to a toddler to a preteen to a teen to a young man at 18 years old. And these women are saying what y'all hating is he's gonna have all the women. So what a woman hate is they put it in their child. And y'all not teaching. A woman is not today's modern women are not teaching boys how to be men. Majority, we talking about the majority. The majority of women are teaching boys how to be men.
Listen. The subject was healthy ways to start a life journey, and the video was about men not getting the respect or even getting the recognition that they desire some of the things, the same thing as women. And that's what we were sitting here talking about. We're going to a whole nother level with this.
Okay.
Okay, well, like I kind of didn't see the video, but like you said, men, I'm not going to say they don't get recognition, but I also can pull up 1,000 reels of women telling you to listen to your man, rub that man's back, he got feelings. So, when we can look at our circle, our social media circle, and see men being supported, I'm not going to discredit the women that's doing it. I'm not going
to discredit the women that's doing it either, Charmaine.
We're not discrediting the women that are actually doing that. I like that. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times, it doesn't, I don't care what anyone says, because I am a man. Been here 35 years. I see it all the time. Men still get ridiculed and get put down because if he showed emotion.
From their friends or from females?
In life.
It's life, period.
It's just life. It ain't just a woman thing. It's in life.
My society don't do that.
You see, you keep going off of your society.
You're not talking about society as a whole.
I ain't gonna say how many years I've been on this planet. I've been on this planet a lot longer. And I got friends of all nationalities, all sexualities, different places.
It don't matter.
It matters to me.
If we talk about a society, we talk about a society in a whole. Not Charmaine's world.
I just describe society, and the thing
you described your circle. You described your circle. That was your circle. Your boat.
It's your circle. It's it's my circle. It's everyone's. So meaning,
absolutely.
Just in America by itself, it's over what 100, 200, almost
300 million, 300
people.
something million, 300 something million, 331 if I'm not mistaken.
Your circle, come on, man.
But you can't sit there and say your circle. Look, say for instance, you in this little bucket, right? Say for instance, you in this little bucket.
Society,
and like
society
you just said, the world is real small compared to a lot of stuff. And you want to sit here and speak as if the entire world is this little circle that you.
We talk about society.
Let's take out the entire world. Let's just say, because the subject was the subject. Now, this is why I picked this video. I picked two videos. I picked one video for a man and one video for a woman. The reason why is because instead of making it just about one particular type of person, I wanted to make sure that we understood the man's side and the woman's side. Because the woman's side gets understood easier than the man's side. That's the reason why I picked that particular video. Because this video, we talking about men on.
Hey,
so let's take society out. Let's take women out.
Play it again.
I didn't see the video, so I'm responding to what you're saying.
That video was just about men and how they feel, and that man was speaking on how men feel.
All right,
I understand. When a man truly wants to be happy, when a man truly wants to find his life's partner, he's got to find the one most important life's partner that he's been afraid to discover, and that's himself. And so he's got to have a period of celibacy. He's got to have a period where he doesn't need a woman, for example. He's got to have a period where he's able to find his strength staying away from sex, staying away from alcohol, staying away from all of the things that he's been building up in his life because he's been afraid of his emotions. And rightfully so, because men as little boys are taught at a very young age, don't cry, because if you're a cry, you're a little bitch or whatever it is that your father told you. And all of those things are emotional wounds that men are not taught how to deal with. And when they finally do, you're going to discover that there's a lot of wonderful, beautiful men out there who will provide financially, provide emotionally, provide spiritually, who want to find love. They just don't know that the love they've been seeking for has been inside the entire time.
So we're going to talk about this about one more minute, and then we'll go to the
I'll let y'all talk about it because it was still froze for me. I can't see videos for some reason tonight.
Well, yeah, go ahead. What you got, Lamar? Speak on that right quick. So
it goes back to what I said. You ain't got to like the word, but he said it himself. Act like a little bitch. If a man shows emotion, the first thing that the average woman, not your society, Charmaine, the average woman, I'm talking about the average general people, I don't give a fuck what their education is. I don't care how much money they make. The average woman looks at society. I ain't gonna even say a woman. Society looks at when a man cries as if he's weak. I'd have been on Facebook Live. I'd have been touched by things. I'm gonna tell you a prime example. I've been talking to my daughter. I'm working 2 jobs right now. I'm driving my truck and I'm driving a motor coach. Something very simple. My daughter's 15 years old. Baby, get out of the shower, finish your homework. I've talked and I've talked and I've talked. I'm tired of talking. I'll whoop to her ass. Old school. Leather to the ass. You're going to need to do your work. I'm whoop your ass. It ain't complicated. This shit's very simple. So even with that, I love my daughter. I don't want to show my daughter corporal punishment. But it comes to a time when we're just talking about this. I'm tired of talking to you. I'm going to whoop your ass. Old school. You know, when people look at us men, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm stressed to the max. I'm flustered. However, I'm not going to get over here and cry nothing like that. We got to take that feeling that we have with the frustration. You show me somebody, an average human being in America, they can do $35,000 negative in 1 month. And a lot of these motherfuckers going to blow their goddamn head off. Frustration. But if I'm on this Facebook, if I'm on social media in whatever circle, if I start crying, I'm looked at as weak.
Yeah.
It don't matter who it is.
They're going to say you're a sinner. They're going to say you're a sinner because you're being vulnerable. And it's sad to say, but it is the truth that when a man steps into his vulnerability and spaces like that, a lot of women nowadays, not our turn, but younger now, they feel like a guy is weak. That's why toxicity is such a huge thing right now.
Matter of fact, hey, Well, what did K Michelle say? Said she need to get out of. If she see a man cry, she's done with him. She just said that.
I got a comment though about it, but
and
I'm wondering.
That's sad, but that's the truth. Honestly, that is the truth.
But
I got a comment about it now.
A lot of women do that.
I'm on land with two guys that can show their vulnerability at any time. That's my nuclear circle. You know, I go outside and but this is the point. Listen, let me finish what I'm saying so y'all can get the full reflection of what I'm trying to say. And so you say when a man shows his emotions, he, you know, gets this and that. He's gonna get called a bitch. He's gonna get called a simp. Now, is he throwing a tantrum? Because you know, if I go out there and I start popping my shit, I'm gonna be called a bitch. I'm gonna be called a hoe. I'm gonna be called a whole lot of things if I'm popping my shit.
We're not talking about some aggressive.
Listen, let me finish my sentence. But listen, where are you doing this vulnerability?
Open your door.
Are you just throwing it here and there like men don't know how to pick women, or men just? Are you in the streets crying, you know, on the corner? It's like, what decisions are you making with your vulnerability?
Okay.
It's not that people don't respect it, because if you're in a circle that respects you, that vulnerability is always welcome. And it scares me that people feel like I need to be able to throw my vulnerability anywhere and everybody gotta feel this way. That ain't the way the world works.
Charmaine. But see, this is the thing, Charmaine. It's this against man and woman. Man and woman, so tired of it. But what you do have to understand is, you as a woman, just a woman, you can show your softness. You can show that, you know what I'm saying, that you got feelings. You can show tears no matter what circle you're in. You can have your circle and have your positive circle, but outside that circle is still the rest of the world. And it's gonna see.
And I'm gonna still get vultures on me. Once I show that vulnerability,
but it's easier for you. It's easier for us than it is for men.
But I'm gonna be a target after that, though. Just like you might get called a simp, but I'm gonna be a target.
How?
No, you're not.
No,
you're not. No, you're not.
They need them to think, and people take advantage of people who they think kicking them when they down. Like that.
Because they used to us being vulnerable.
I look at it as people like people have a problem with men and women being equal. Like, and something got to hurt me more.
We're not equal. A woman is not equal to a man, and a man is not equal to a woman. Let me tell you, we're not equal. We're not equal.
Yeah,
you'll never make the money I make. Doing the same job, you'll never make the money I make.
I know some women that make more
than you. We're not equal.
But I know women that make more than you.
We're not equal. We're not equal.
I'm not trying to be equal with you. I know women that make more than you, but we're not the same.
You missed the whole point. Charmaine, hold on 1 second. Charmaine, I seen a wrestler thing that was on Facebook where it was an open match, where it was a woman and a male.
Said we're not equal.
No,
we're not. Well, it was a woman and a male.
We would never be on the same playing field.
What's unequal about it? Just because one person can cry, one person can't. Is that the only?
Because even if a woman, Charmaine, let me tell you something. Even if a woman is out here and she created her own business and she's making billions of dollars, millions of dollars, or whatever, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, she will never be equal on a man's playing field. Even if she created her own and she brought a man in, even if she brought in her own. And she invited men to it.
I don't want to be a man. I don't either.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving you a general idea.
No, I'm reading the comment.
Oh,
yeah, I was reading the comment.
It will still never be an equal playground because at the end of the day, in reality, we're not.
And then you want me to go somewhere else?
It's the same way.
There have been women in history who have led wars, led countries. I'm
not discounting none of that.
But I'm
just saying, in this world that we live in,
we're not equal. We're not equal.
That's just the reality. No matter what we do,
we're not equal. I'm not trying to have no babies.
I got someone that want to speak right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come on, Troy. Let's see what it is. I don't want to be a man. Let me make it clear that I'm not saying I'm a man, that I'm as strong as a man or tough as a man. I'm not trying to be. But when it comes to emotionally being secure, we both deserve the equal security
We
in our life.
deserve it, yes,
But we don't get it. But men don't
But
get
they
it.
saying they don't get that.
We don't get that.
It's all just like
Because
right now. It's already a battle back and
they
forth
were
because
raised
we're
by
saying
women, and so the baby fad that happened needs to unhappen. That's a self journey that they don't want to hear that. If I say that,
what do you mean the baby fad that happened?
like they're saying that the men that was raised by women have these issues, right? So when you're talking to those men and you're trying to tell those particular men, listen, when you got a whole community of women out here that don't feel like it, change your mind, brother, and be on the team. They don't want to hear that. We're talking to the people who was damaged, who wants to still blame the damage and not go back
No damage.
and see that, okay, you're speaking from a person's place of the thing that you just described, and I'm trying to say that, you know, the sun is out. You don't have to feel like it because it's in your mind right now. If you look at women differently, and if you talk to somebody and you feel like, damn, this person's actually listening to me, that's not you going in it with a mindset of, oh, I can't do this. You're going because I'm going to no. Go in it and see what happens.
Okay, well, can I ask you this question?
I'm listening.
Why is this situation in this mode? We having this conversation about men needing the space to be able to be vulnerable without being called weak and things like that. Why is this such? It's so much more of a difficult conversation than when we have for women.
Because it's not, because when I said, yeah, they do. And the thing that triggered this conversation was when I said, in this era that we're in, everybody's more so being able to be themselves and have this voice. We got this sir right here, got a whole podcast to talk about his feelings, and y'all telling me, pissing on me, telling me that it's raining, and I'm like, look, that's not what's happening in real life.
I'm gonna say what's not being said, and I hope nobody takes it the wrong way because I'm gonna be real honest right now. I know I'm probably get some criticism about what I'm about to say, but it is easier. It is easier for a gay man to be able to be himself and express himself without getting ridiculed than it is for a straight man to express himself and not get ridiculed. And I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest, Charmaine.
Say it again. Say it one more time.
It's more
Say it one more time.
It's more simple.
But
I'm getting my opinion. And from what just from what I see,
hold on.
It is more easier.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right quick. You can say, go ahead. Y'all remember when we had the session for the men's night when Lamar had his, showing his vulnerability?
Yes.
Do you know how many inboxes I got from women saying, "Oh, he's weak, he's crying."
And why is that?
But for whatever woman said, I'm crying. I'm 49 years old. My house is paid for. I make 6 figures. I'm a single dad right now as I'm talking to you. I'm cooking some sweet potatoes, some greens, some ribs, and cornbread. Got me bent.
I'm gonna let this bitch come in and speak right quick. Then we get back to us. Hello. How are you doing? Welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
So what you got to say about what we're talking about right now, about men showing their vulnerabilities and feelings?
I'm only 35.
Okay, I am aware.
All women are different in their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
Some women like vulnerability,
yes,
men, and some don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. I don't know how to say. Is it Mr. Dawson?
Yeah, it's Lamont. It's Lamont.
Lamont.
Okay. How you doing, love?
I'm good. So I get his point when it comes down to men. And then I get Charmaine's point as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
was you able to see the video? Because I didn't get to see the video.
I did. So I made a comment on there. What the video is it Miss Suge?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've seen the video and I agree with the video. I totally agree with the video. I have 12 brothers. I have 12 brothers.
Ooh.
I'm the oldest out of both sides, and I have never seen none of my brothers cry. Now I have seen my husband cry, but I have never seen out of my 12 brothers cry at all, unless something has happened in the family, like a funeral or something like that. But other than that, like over a girl or a situation like a relationship problem.
All your brothers are real handsome though. They're not gonna cry over no.
That's irrelevant.
Right. No,
I'd rather have a guy that is true to himself. That's, I'm not saying sensitive, but have some type of emotion. Nowadays, you don't have these guys don't have no, excuse my language, these guys don't have no fucking emotions.
And why?
And then like when it comes down to, say, women become pregnant, they aren't in a relationship. What you see on Facebook now, like the little clippings, like people will do their little family thing.
Right.
Women are pregnant, the boyfriend or husband is like, oh, come on, babe, let's go to the hospital. Most of the time it's going to be, what I have seen other videos is the guy just standing there, okay, let's go, instead of, come on, let's do this. All to give his all to his girl or whatever relationship. I'm just saying, I agree with Lamont. In your video is true. I even put on the comment like true.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I haven't dated a lot of guys, but I just see nowadays, and yes, Miss Shug, these young folks don't care.
No.
Just like you'll see the some videos where they'll do like the girl standing in line, the guy comes up, introduce himself, and then they start popping the balloons because either he don't look a certain way.
I watch Pop the Balloon, and I don't understand that they're just going off of physical attraction. Like, guys tell me, we're just basically attracted to you physically. But when they get that back where a woman says, okay, I'm going to pop this balloon just on physical attraction, then we have a problem with how we think and how we pick. And so
no, we don't. No, we don't.
I understand a man needs his space and his the opportunity to be vulnerable. That is not without question. But and that's not, there's no but. That's just it. A person needs that. And the question maybe was women have it easier. And I just think that in that sense that we may seem like we're being vulnerable, like you'll listen to us cry, you will listen to our response, but are you really, like she said, active in what that pain is, or is it?
But you can't expect men to be emotionally intelligent to you if they don't have the space to do so. That's what we're talking about. If you're not letting men.
Miss Shug, that's two different things. If I just said
it's connected to emotion and intellectual.
I just said a man needs his space for his vulnerability, and that has no but.
You know why she's never seen her brothers cry, Charmaine? But you know why you never seen your brothers cry? Because at that funeral, it was a safe space for them to be able to cry. But if it wasn't at that funeral, outside of that, they would look like they weak for crying. Do you get the two connections right there? You see what I'm saying? That's why you've never seen your brothers cry.
But that wasn't the two connections I made. What I said was that we're happy to be a safe space for men to be vulnerable. I said that they're saying that it's okay for women to do it and it's highly accepted without us being called names. It's okay for us to cry. It's okay for us to show emotions. But like she just said, when somebody's having a baby, are you really invested in that? Just because it's okay, it don't mean that we really got consoled through the time when we need emotion. It was just okay for us to do it. Did we really get action behind it? Is what I'm saying.
If they don't, how can they give you something if they don't know how to do it? Because they haven't been allowed the space to do so. If they haven't been told to do so. Not the space, but
Charmaine.
the
I
woman
can
that's
do
taught
it
to
for
do
you,
so.
but you can't do it for me. I can do it for you, but you can't do it for me.
Charmaine, you keep trying.
about.
We're not the same. God didn't program us to be the as learned behavior.
That's
Back
what
from the
we're
womb, we're
talking
not
It's
taught that.
learned behavior. You're right. That is learned
All right,
It's a
behavior.
learned behavior.
We talk,
And they haven't been taught that.
We talked about no. I guess I brought the women video.
You're on this
I wish I
journey
could
of
see it.
reinventing yourself. I want you to keep these 3 things in mind. I want you to be prepared to lose some things, okay? Be prepared to lose some people, be removed from some places. You may lose some material things, but that what comes with the process of becoming a new person. Everyone can't go with you, and not everyone is going to like this new person that you are becoming. So they will slowly but surely fall off. So when it happens, don't try to hold on, don't try to fight it. Just let it go because you need to make room for more. That goes for people, places, and things. When you are on this journey of reinventing yourself, I want you to keep in mind that your inner work is way more important than changing your physical reality. Once you do the proper inner work and you work on yourself, so that means uncovering bad habits, renewing your mind, discovering your negative thought patterns. Once you do the work in that area, everything else in your physical reality will begin to change. When people want to reinvent themselves, they focus so much on the physical aspects, not realizing that what's going on physically is just a mirror of what's going on internally. So you want to fix what's going on internally first, so then your physical reality can reflect that. And number 3, I want you to expect to feel some resistance. When you are on this journey of reinventing yourself, I said this in a previous YouTube video. If you haven't already, go check that out. But when you are on a journey of reinventing yourself, your ego wants to keep you safe. So you're out here doing things that you've never done before. And your ego's like, hold on, you're doing something new. What's going on? So then you begin to start having doubts, worries, or having these feelings that maybe you shouldn't go down this path. Maybe you shouldn't rebrand yourself, whatever. I want you to move forward anyway. You're going to have negative thoughts creep up here and there, but continue to evolve, continue to grow. So if reinventing yourself looks like going to the gym at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., then do it. Don't be surprised when you're extra tired when it's time for you to go to the gym. That's just your body trying to keep you safe. Push forward anyway. If this new version of yourself is a damn good content creator, I want you showing up every day, posting your content. I don't care how anxious you feel. Do it anyway, okay? You're going to feel the resistance, but push forward anyway.
Okay, somebody reach out. Somebody reach out, because I didn't even hear, I only heard your ego doing something they never done before. I didn't hear none of the video, so I'm just
Ebony,
going
this is
based
your
off what
video,
y'all
so
say.
go ahead and speak on it, Ebony.
The things that she was saying was basically the same things that the guy was saying. If you decide that you want to go on a life journey, you want to reinvent yourself, don't resist it, because when you put in resistance, it's just your body telling you you're going to go to a place that you've never been before. But to go and proceed with that, whether it's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
I heard it's a test before testimony.
Okay.
I heard that.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really got too much to speak on that. That's just because it's just basically like the men too, you know.
Yes.
It's basically giving the woman the space, you know, she reinvent herself, you know, as the same thing about the man. Man needs space and show vulnerability. You know, it's both the same thing. So, you know, I'm going to head to our last video, then we add that in.
This is frustrating. I'm apologizing again, y'all, because I cannot see the videos at all.
Do these 5 things to become more disciplined in life. 1. Make your bed every morning. 2. Before your day starts, set daily goals and prioritize tasks. 3. Exercise or walk 30 minutes every day. 4. Identify your biggest time wasters, social media, Netflix, etc., and minimize distractions by creating boundaries. 5. Audit your daily activities each night before going to sleep. Remember, discipline isn't about stressful resistance. It's about structuring your environment for success.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the last video, Charmaine, was about setting yourself up for great structure in your life. Like if you want to get up every day and write 30 minutes in a journal before you leave to go work, make your bed up, exercise for 30 minutes a day, getting rid of things that are wasteful energy and time, like social media, if you're on social media a lot, and things like that. So it's just giving you a list of things that you can do in order to start the process of your life journey for you, you know.
And I love that. Like I love self-affirming. I love just, you know, putting things in order, like vision boards and things like that. Because you have to physically, you have to say it out of your mouth. You have to write it down. You have to make it something that it's not. If you're missing it, you have to figure out how to create it from within, you know. So I love all of those things that takes you into diving deeper into yourself. And then, like you said,
too.
I know I saw when he said get rid of the social media that's taking up your time and different that. We have a lot of little vices. I'm right here sneaking and smoking now. That if I took that cigarette out, I have an extra, you know what, $1,500 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could take a trip with what I smoke. You know what I'm saying?
That's me.
I got a coffee habit in the morning. I could take a trip and fly VIP. You know, I know these things. So it's just me putting it into action if that's what I really want in my life. You know?
Right.
Let's say, what do I guess? What you got to say about the video?
Oh no, I agree with it.
Okay.
I agree with it. It's gonna be challenging for anyone that wanted to do those steps. I mean, making your bed is easy, but it's like, oh, do I have, you know, like I have to make this bed, even though you know you're gonna get back in it. Even though at the end of the day you're gonna be getting back in it, but no, I think it's good. I think everyone should do that.
And that was one of the videos that was actually talking about that procrastinating before starting your life journey. And people get lazy and comfortable and complacent with doing what they're used to doing. And that one video where she said she was so used to the old her that she didn't want to change it to the new her because she was very comfortable with the old her. And she had to get her mindset out of thinking like that. Saying, okay, well, this has been me forever. So why would I change this when this has been me forever? This is how everybody knows me. But at the same time, she wanted to start a life journey. So in order to start a life journey for yourself, you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable again.
Yeah. It's just like a lot of people once they hit up a gym. They have a mind goal of what they want to do. Once they start, like once they go to the gym the first time and their mind is like, this is too much.
Right.
But you know it's what you want to do. But
I bought a whole membership
the lazy part comes up.
Didn't show up.
I had a membership too, and I'm gonna tell you something. I started going. I didn't go every day. I put myself on a system. What I said was, okay, I want to go at least 3 times a week. And what I would do is I would go and just only do treadmill. And I would start out doing a 10-minute walk. And then the more I started doing that, I would go up 15, then 20, then 25 minutes, then 30. And I really got in the rhythm of it, and it was great. But I'm gonna tell you, it took one time, maybe 2 times for me not to show up to the gym on the days that I set for me to show up. And then I was like, you know what, forget it, whatever. Lazy mindset.
Right.
Yeah, and that's me. The thing is, I went as far as having a trainer. I went to Pilates Saturday. I'm 15 minutes late. She's like, you got to reschedule. I'm like, you know, you just got to put it in your mind of what you're going to do. And then the people ain't going to let you waste their time. Yeah, you got to just
do it.
You know what that comes down to? You know what it comes down to? Because the one thing that hit me out of everything was making the accountability. Holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's the one thing that we got to do. Accountability.
Accountability. I don't make my bed because I've read.
I don't either.
I iterate. There was an article I read. I don't want to share it until we get into that type of subject. But I keep my bed open, you know, for aeration. You know, I don't make my bed till afternoon. If I get up at 8, I'm not gonna make my bed till
I don't make my bed at all. I don't make my bed at all. I ain't making my bed. I ain't never gonna make my bed in my life.
But other than that, I would do every single step. And then there may be some days that I make my bed just to make my house set. You know what I'm saying? Just to feel good. You got to do some things to make you feel good.
You know what feel good? My mama My mama whooped my ass when I ain't making my bed when I was a kid. Now that it's my house, I ain't making that motherfucker. Like say when you start dating, I might make it the first month or two. I ain't making no bed. If it's that concerning you, you make it.
We had a good starting point. Yeah, we had a good conversation. I like all the energy, you know what I'm saying, emotion, everything's in it. But end of the day, we all need to take self accountability, you know, step back, you know, and reevaluate yourself, you know, and take out the things that's actually stopping your journey, you know, because in actuality, we all on a journey right now. You know what I'm saying? So things come in our life, you know, that stops us. So what I have to say for the people, man, don't let people stop your journey and take 5-10 steps back and just look at yourself.
Evaluation.
Yeah. But
evaluation and inventory is what I want to say. I want to say evaluate, inventory, write it down, and make everything you want to make real in your life so you can make it presentable in front of your face.
Right.
I'm gonna put one in there.
I challenge people to do mirroring. Mirroring is
Michael Jackson,
standing in the mirror and self-reflecting.
Yes.
I'm gonna challenge people to quit making excuses. I'm gonna start with me first. I wasn't gonna wash these dishes till tomorrow afternoon, but you know something? I'm in this kitchen. Y'all gotta excuse me, but this is life. Mama's been doing this shit for years. This is why I'm a single dad and self-employed.
Multitasking.
Look, hey, I just pay the company to come clean my house. I ain't like doing it.
Well,
I see you cutting that grass.
I think
you cutting that grass.
Oh yeah, I was out there sweating my ass off.
Hey, I thought about cutting the grass. But I'm like, it's gonna rain. I ain't doing that.
Yeah,
doing another day.
Hey, this is the Show Your Live podcast. We here every Monday. We will start doing more throughout the week as well. So y'all come back, share, like, comment, and tell what y'all like about it. And we out of here.
All right. Thank you for the guest.
Bye.